Hey guys, Flames of War for the Win Vietnam, episode 3. So, what has happened so far? If you haven't been watching, the scenario is we have a Vietnamese village here, and we have downed Huey, where the guys that were in it, we can't find them. So, 4 Hueys landed, dropped off a platoon of guys. That platoon of guys pretty quickly started to come under pressure from some Viet Cong locals and some PVAN, or is it PAVN?
PAVN.
I keep calling it PVA because of glue. Would you believe that? Yeah, so PAVN. So, and some PAVN have come on. Now, this is cool because to me, this kind of like, this speaks Vietnam. The guys have landed in, you know, they're looking around them. It all started out that there was just a couple of locals, and before you know it, it all starts to build up.
Yep.
But it's not over for these guys. Things are about to get a lot worse. Now, the Vietnamese have a kind of a deployment rule as well. How does that work?
It's called guerrilla reserves.
Yeah.
And basically, instead of coming on from table edges or anything like normal reserves, Flames of War, the table's divided into quarters, and you roll randomly to see which quarter you get.
Now, is this kind of like to simulate the fact that these guys had tunnels and
they're just popping up out of the jungle,
and stuff all over the place?
Yeah, using the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The fact they can blend in with the jungle. They're everywhere.
Right. So, and the way that works is you say the table's divided into quarters. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. On a 5, the Vietnamese player gets to put them in a corner with an objective.
Yeah.
On 6, it's any quarter they choose.
They put them, and whenever you say a quarter, you don't mean they have to come on at the end. They could be
it is
anywhere in that.
But they have to be so far away from the Americans.
Right. Well, the fact that on a roll of a 4 or a 5 or a 6, you're probably going to end up there. Let's say you've rolled a 4, a 5, or a 6. So, guys, that's a lot of troops that's about to come on. Now, I'll try and get this with the soldier cam here so as you can see. Now, this is one of the things I was talking about with the Vietnamese is how heavily outnumbered the Americans can find themselves. Now, don't panic because the Americans have tons and tons of really good kit. But in terms of actual men on the ground, as you can see, they're going to very quickly get outnumbered here. So, we are finding ourselves in a bit of a difficulty here. So what turned out is what looked like a simple seek and rescue operation is we very quickly ended up surrounded here. So is there anything else in those deployments that we need to know, or is it as simple as that? You know, because that looks, there's a little bit of a random element to it, but that looks really effective for the Vietnamese.
It is. It's basically, it's one of the big things that sets them apart from standard Flames of War infantry. It's the fact that they can just pop up anywhere on the board.
So what's our response to that going to be?
Well, in our turn, what we can do is we can bring on effectively reinforcements that we've got, and a lot of the American stuff is obviously kind of helicopter based. Yeah. So one of the things that we have access to are heavy hogs. They're like our slicks, but they have a lot of rockets mounted on them. Yeah. A really big amount of rockets.
Well, maybe he means a lot of rockets.
I'm loving the sound of this. Okay, so let's see what happens. So these are Hueys with enormous, look at the, So let's get a shot of these here. So this is, it's a Huey that is just born for killing. Yeah, okay.
On front of it, you've also got what's called a frog. Yeah. And that's basically a grenade launcher. If the rockets weren't enough, you can put some grenades in as well. Hurrah, hoo-ha!
Absolutely nuts. And again, from a deployment perspective, because they're helicopters and helicopters are going at 100-odd mile an hour, there's no tape measuring or anything with it. You're just putting them down where you need them to be.
You can put them down, yeah.
Okay, so we've deployed them. What would happen now? We'd obviously get to shoot.
Well, each of these guys effectively has like an artillery piece strapped to the bottom of it. So each of them can fire as though it's like a regular 4-gun artillery battery. Yeah. But one of the things that hogs can do is they can actually chain fire their weapons together. So they could actually kind of shoot all of their weapons from that turn, counting as an 8-weapon battery.
So you need to grab your artillery template, Warren.
Yeah, so I have my template.
No, this one. So
you are joking.
That's the template.
we can begin to do is even fire not just, you know, a regular 8-weapon battery, which is nice, but they could even unload every rocket they have.
Those 2 helicopters are doing this.
I think if you really wanted to, you could do that twice.
Oh, come on! And so I get to bring on an LP-sized area of destruction.
We affectionately call it the pizza box of death.
The pizza box of death. Right, we've got to have to do it. Take me through the motions of what we would do here. So
basically, you can count up the size of your bombardment, and as long as you've got more than 9 weapons firing at once, you can use this entire monster. So basically, unlike regular artillery that you line up with the edges of the table, with aeroplanes or with the firer, you'd line it up with the helicopter, in this case, over some poor unfortunate. So all of those guys that arrived the second ago, they're going to get punished.
Right. What would we be rolling here against these guys right now?
So you need a bucket.
Yeah.
And a lot of dice.
So the first roll that you need to make is to range in effectively.
Yeah.
And this uses
You
your
want to grab one of those scouts.
pilots.
If I grab a what?
You want to grab one of those loaches.
Yep.
Your pilot's kind of aiming skill. One of the things you can do though is you're aiming to hit with the modifiers of the target.
Yes.
So if they're concealed, if they're gone to ground, you make it quite hard to achieve.
Okay, so if they're concealed, that'd be +1. If they're gone to ground, that's plus another 1. So yeah, I understand
So
that.
you find yourself on 6s.
Yeah.
So when we spoke about, we've got the Loach.
Yeah.
Which Alex is going to bring on.
So what you can do is effectively have a Loach brought in.
And that Loach needs to be within 6 inches of the guys. Okay. So I'll just get a shot of that. So there's the Loach. Okay. And believe it or not, I know about this one. So if he's within 6 inches of them, that counts as spotting for them, which means it makes it easier for those guys to range in. Is that right?
The Loach still has to make a skill check, but it's kind of worth it. So
he's passed his skill check. Yeah. So if those guys previously were, a 5 maybe to hit them, they're now what? A 4?
Yeah, you lose gone to ground.
Can you do multiple Loaches to take it down even further?
No,
of course. I would look for the cheese in it, guys.
Well, like the template's not big enough.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can fire the template twice.
Yeah. Each of these choppers can unload this template once.
And then they can come off the table, reload, and come back later and do it again.
Okay, put it on there to see what happens.
So place this down over a poor little victim.
So if you imagine you had the little wee template, you'd only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
But piece of death. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 stands.
19! Okay, right.
19, the average age of a combat soldier.
You would have thought we planned that.
Yeah,
no, 19, yeah. Okay, you say I get to do it twice. How many dice would I roll, and what would I need?
Effectively, you'd range in.
Yeah.
So the skill of the chopper pilot at this point, not requiring a particularly difficult number to hit.
Yeah.
You range in, you then roll to hit with 19 dice. You then roll to hit like you traditionally would.
Yeah.
Based on how well you ranged and how quickly you managed to do it. Just like in regular Flames of War, you can range in up to 3 times, and every time you fail, it becomes harder to achieve.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, having spotted it with the Loach, hopefully it's happening first time.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be appalling. So a lot of guys are going to die. Obviously, you then target the second hog at survivors.
Yeah.
That hopefully are clumped together a little bit better than the smattering that will survive this.
Right. So, what have we learned? So we've, in this episode, we very quickly saw just how easy it is to get surrounded by a whole bunch of guys. But do we care about that? Not really, it seems. Because with 3 amazing helicopters, we're able to unleash that horrendous template. And do you know what? To find out what happens from here, you'll have to tune into the next episode. I hope you're enjoying this, guys, because I'm enjoying this more and more and more. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, guys.